So from a physical standpoint, I don't want to try to give away any secrets of USA Wrestling just 1 week before this thing starts, but could you give us an idea from a physical standpoint? What is somebody doing at this camp that's, say, 7 days out from a competition? You said 2-a-days. Like, what happens during this practice? How intense is it?
And most of them don't, like for me, it's 2 a day because you have a lot of groups going, but a lot of them do not train 2 a day. They might do on the mat maybe an hour a day, maybe even 45 minutes a day. And some of them might be completely off. So they do get complete days off, way more than what you and I would imagine, way more than what a college wrestler will do. They have a lot more time to recover. The practices are much shorter, intense at most time, and there is a lot of technical work. A lot. We talked about it, what we wish we would have done years ago when we trained. A lot of technical specific work, very loose environment, very, like I said, very collaborative. And then you have those spurts. They might do 2 matches a day, practice matches, and that's it. Call it. And then they'll go on a walk, they'll play basketball, shoot some hoops, just as simple as that. And you're like, oh, wow. Very different, very, very different. Those guys are very skilled. They're like machines. They don't kill them. They don't just run them to the ground at this point.
Yeah, it sounds like they've got a good idea of what they need. I think that wrestling is very similar to judo in that it's not seasonal. That's the big challenge for judo is the qualification period is a 2-year period where people are pretty much fighting, year round. I mean, there's 2 or 3 month break here and there, but for the most part, you're picking a few tournaments to peak at per year, and then you're trying to kind of train through. For USA Wrestling, do you know when like the top guys, what's the last time they competed? Was it like the Pan Ams, I think was
Olympic? No, I think the Olympic trials, and then some of them that didn't qualify the weight and they won their weight in the Olympic trials, they still had a chance to try through international tournaments. But you can imagine they have the Olympic trials, and that experience from judo, which is a big thing as well. If you're the top seed person and you can get knocked out, and there were a few upsets, I think, for this Olympics in wrestling. So again, the competition within the US is just as hard as the international one.
Again, goes right back to my comparison of USA Wrestling to Japanese judo, because you see the competitive environment, but that's what makes all these wrestlers so strong, is that they've got somebody just below them trying to chase them down, trying to take their position. And your position is never safe in USA Wrestling. You make that national team, there's a youngster right there looking for you. I've been thinking a lot about Ono. Obviously Ono is just won his second Olympic gold medal a couple of days ago, and a lot of people are looking forward to Teddy Riner, who's the heavyweight, who is going to fight in 2 days from now, and everyone's expecting him to come out with his 3rd Olympic gold medal. And I think there's already going to be talks now about Ono doing it again in 3 years. But me knowing judo as well as I do, I've been to Japan. Everyone around the world is saying Ono is, God's gift to judo. I mean, even the national coach, Kosei Inoue, came out with a statement the other day about how he's like the complete package. He's the perfect combination of muscle and technique and all these things. But what I want to think about is, I think there's a kid that I don't know and you don't know, some kid we've never heard of at Tokai Sagami High School or Toyin High School, somewhere in Japan, that has the crosshairs on Ono saying, I'm going to take that guy out. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be easy for Ono to even directly qualify through Japan in 3 years from now. Not saying he's not going to do it, but there's going to be somebody there trying to take him out that's not scared to do it.
100%. And as you say, it's the same with USA Wrestling. Jordan Borah was the king, and got knocked down in the trials, but by Kyle Dake. Everyone has its time, and I think with Ono, it's going to be it's going to be tougher and tougher for him to stay at the top, both from a national level and international level. Look at the final; it was not easy match for him. Not easy fight. It was a fight. It was a big fight for him.
So that was the interesting thing, that I don't know if this kind of ever plays out in the world of wrestling. I don't follow it as closely as judo, obviously, but the Japanese had a strategy of not sending him out as much. So Ono, who's, pound for pound, everyone says the best judo player in the world, came in like ranked number 12 because the Japanese just didn't send him out. And obviously in hindsight, it looks like it probably was the right thing, because once people start fighting regularly, people figure him out.
Yeah. So I think there is some similarities. I know the coaches were talking, Kyle Dake is not seated, but they know he's one of the top 3 in the world, and no one wants to draw him to spoil the bracket. So there are some similarities with wrestling,
Yeah.
which is going to be quite affecting. And I can say a lot of the wrestlers been watching the judo competition, and they're all fascinated by the overtime and golden score.